2 years. 2 full years of updates, drama, DLC drops, community meltdowns, balance patches, and one of the wildest journeys any fighting game has ever had. And I'm here to ask, in 2026, is Tekken 8 the GOAT? Or did Bandai Namco slowly chip away at something that started perfect? Because here's the thing. When Tekken 8 launched back in January of 2024, it was untouchable. Critics called it the gold standard for 3D fighters. It had the visuals, the story, the mechanics, the netcode, everything. But then, the monetization wars began. The review bombs came. Season 2 almost broke the fanbase. And now, we're deep into Season 3, and the game is finally doing something it hasn't done in a long time. Winning back hearts. So buckle up. Whether you're a Day 1 Tekken veteran or someone thinking about jumping in right now, this is the most honest Tekken 8 review you'll watch in 2026.
Let's start with the story, because honestly, it goes hard. Tekken 8's story is called The Dark Awakens and picks up right after Tekken 7. Heihachi Mishima, the OG Big Bad, is dead, and you'd think that would mean peace, right? Wrong. Kazuya Mishima, Jin's father, decides that's still not enough power. He launches a full-scale global takeover using his corporation, G-Corp, and his devil gene. Basically, he's waging war on the entire world. And standing in his way? Jin Kazama, his own son, a guy who's been trying to escape the curse of his family's bloodline for his entire life. What makes this story genuinely great is the emotional depth. You're not just watching two guys punch each other. You're watching decades of trauma, abandonment, hatred, and a broken bloodline finally come to a head. Jin reunites with his mother, Jun Kazama, who had been absent from the series for over 25 years. That moment alone gave longtime fans chills. The climax is breathtaking. Both Jin and Kazuya lose their devil gene powers in the final battle, and for the first time, it's just a father and son, human, fighting each other in the most honest, painful duel the series has ever shown. Jin wins. He walks away. And, in typical Tekken fashion, there's an after-credits tease with Reina Mishima awakening her own devil gene, setting up whatever comes next. There's even a secret bad ending if you lose the final fight against Kazuya. He throws Jin off a cliff, a direct callback to the very first Tekken game. That kind of detail, that's love for the franchise. Verdict on story? A 9 out of 10. The best narrative Tekken has ever told.
Now, let's talk about what actually matters in a fighting game, the gameplay. Tekken 8's biggest addition is the heat system, and 2 years later, it's still the most talked about mechanic in any 3D fighter. Here's how it works. Once per round, you can activate heat mode. It wraps your character in this intense energy aura and unlocks a burst of offensive power. In heat, your blocked attacks deal chip damage, meaning even defense isn't completely safe. You get access to heat dashes, which extend combos in ways that feel creative and character-specific. You get a heat smash, essentially a mini super move, brutal and flashy. And every character has unique heat bonuses. Claudio gets enhanced starburst attacks. Leroy can extend his heat timer with parries. King's Run can become a power crush. It's not a one-size-fits-all mechanic. It's tailored to each fighter's identity. The philosophy behind Tekken 8 from day one was simple. Be aggressive. Bandai Namco wanted a game that rewards offense. And early on, some players, especially old-school defensive Tekken players, pushed back hard. They felt the game punished patience too much. And honestly, that criticism wasn't wrong. Season 2 took the aggression even further, and it broke the balance. The community backlash was real. But now in Season 3, Bandai Namco has done something they rarely do. They listened. Season 3's update in March 2026 went back to basics. Heat move costs went up. Heat dashes were toned down. The April patch gathered meaningful nerfs across the board. The game feels closer to launch Tekken 8 now, that sweet spot between depth and chaos. For newcomers, the special style mode lets you do incredible looking combos with simplified inputs. It's not a crutch, it's a bridge. You'll look cool immediately, but you'll naturally want to learn the real stuff. The game respects your
journey. For veterans, all the deep mechanics are still there. Wave dashing, Korean backdashing, frame traps, punishment windows. This is still one of the most technical fighting games ever made. The skill ceiling is as high as ever. Rollback netcode is solid. Online feels clean. That's still rare in fighting games in 2026, so credit where it's due. Gameplay verdict, 9.5 out of 10 right now, especially post-Season 3 balance updates.
Let's talk about what this game looks like, because even 2 years later, Tekken 8 is jaw-dropping. This is the first major fighting game ever built on Unreal Engine 5, and Bandai Namco used that power seriously. Character models are a generational leap from Tekken 7, which was, let's be honest, starting to look dated near the end. In Tekken 8, skin has texture and depth, hair moves dynamically, clothing reacts to impact. Every knuckle on Paul Phoenix's fist looks like it's been through 100 fights. The stages are their own characters. There are 16 base stages, and they're not just pretty backdrops, they're destructible layered environments. The Colosseum stage crumbles as rounds progress. You can knock opponents through glass ceilings and watch them crash to a lower floor, then keep fighting. Each stage has unique weather, lighting shifts, and interactive elements. The particle effects on special moves? Spectacular. When the heat system activates and that energy ore explodes outward, or when Devil Jin's laser tears across the screen, it genuinely feels cinematic. You're not just watching a fight, you're watching a spectacle. The game runs at a locked 60 frames per second on PS5 and Xbox Series X. No performance mode, no trade-offs. The frame rate stability is some of the best ever seen in the genre. For a game where a single frame can mean the difference between winning and losing, that consistency matters enormously. Now, is it the absolute best use of Unreal Engine 5? No, it doesn't use Lumen's real-time global illumination. Some lighting is still pre-baked. There are other UE5 games pushing harder on the tech, but Tekken 8 made a smart choice, prioritize performance and consistency over graphical extremes. And for a competitive fighting game, that's the right call. Graphics verdict, 9 out of 10. Still one of the best-looking fighting games in existence.
How much game is actually here? A lot. The main story mode, The Dark Awakens, is genuinely cinematic. Full Hollywood-quality cutscenes that flow directly into fights. No loading breaks, no jarring transitions. It's the most production budget any Tekken story has ever seen. Then, there are individual character episodes, short stories for every fighter on the roster. Some are comedic, some are surprisingly emotional. These are great for learning a new character's personality and moveset. Arcade Quest is brilliant for newcomers. You build an avatar and journey through different arcades, completing challenges and learning mechanics step by step before you ever go online. It teaches you the game without making you feel like you're in school. Ghost Battles let you fight AI versions of real players. The system learns from how actual humans play and mimics them. It's arguably one of the best training tools in any fighting game ever made. Character customization is deep and addictive. You can spend hours on outfits alone. Online modes include ranked matches, player matches, and Arcade Quest lobbies. The matchmaking improvements in Season 3 have made finding games faster and fairer. Now, the roster as of mid-2026, we're sitting at 40-plus playable characters with Season 3 DLC rolling out. Kunimitsu's already in, Bob is coming this summer, Roger Jr. drops in fall, and the fourth Season 3 character, revealed at Combo Breaker 2026, is Yujiro Hanma from Baki. Yes, that Yujiro Hanma. The Tekken team is clearly having fun. Content verdict, 8.5 out of 10. Enormous amount to do.
We need to talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Tekken 8 launched as a near-perfect game, and then Bandai Namco found ways to frustrate the very people who loved it most. The cash shop was hidden at launch. It only appeared after release. Players who paid $100 or $110 for premium editions expected all post-launch content included. That's not what they got. Individual DLC characters cost $8 each. A new stage dropped as a separate $5 purchase. The game got a battle pass system with cosmetics locked behind seasonal grind or real money. The reaction? Tekken 8 got review bombed into mostly negative territory on Steam. For one of the best fighting games ever made, that stunk. Season 2 made things worse. The balance changes felt like they broke the game instead of improving it, and the community's patience wore thin. Season 3 is a genuine redemption arc, though. The developers launched a Tekken dev feedback portal. They're actually collecting community input in real time.
The back-to-basics approach to balance is acknowledged as a course correction. The April 2026 patch addressed heat system abuse issues the community had flagged for months. It's not perfect, but it's transparent. The monetization itself hasn't disappeared. You still pay for DLC characters and content, but the goodwill is slowly being rebuilt through honest communication and delivering on promises. Controversy verdict? A story of a great game that stumbled on business decisions, then slowly found its footing. Still frustrating in spots, but improving.
The roster deserves its own moment. At launch, Tekken 8 had 32 fighters, 29 returning, 3 brand new. The newcomers include Reina Mishima, who brings a Mishima-style Tekken with her own secret bloodline twist. Victor Chevalier, a French Special Forces commander with tactical, gadget-heavy fighting. And Azucena, a Colombian coffee heiress, whose capoeira-inspired style is creative and chaotic. Fan favorites are back. Jin, Kazuya, Paul, Law, Nina, King, Yoshimitsu, all with updated movesets and that stunning Unreal Engine 5 visual treatment. Jun Kazama returns for the first time in decades. Devil Jin is fully playable as a separate slot. Even Heihachi, who was canonically dead, came back as Season 2 DLC. Tekken does not play by the rules of death. Every character feels genuinely different. The variety and playstyle is massive. There's almost no reason you can't find someone that matches how you want to fight.
So, should you buy Tekken 8 right now in 2026? If you're a fighting game fan who hasn't tried it yet, yes, immediately. The base game is a masterpiece of the genre. The story is the best Tekken has ever done. The heat system, post-Season 3 balance, is at its most refined. The graphics are still jaw-dropping. The content is overwhelming in the best way. If you're a lapsed player who quit during the monetization drama or Season 2 chaos, it's time to come back. Season 3's back-to-basics approach genuinely feels like Bandai Namco heard the criticism and responded. The ranked reset gave everyone a fresh start. New characters are exciting. The dev feedback portal shows they're listening. If you're a hardcore competitive player, the Tekken World Tour 2026 is live. It kicked off in May at EVO Japan and runs through the year. The competitive scene is healthy, the skill gap is real, and there has never been a better time to grind. Platform notes, available on PS5, Xbox Series X/S, and PC via Steam. If you're on PC, the game scales well down to lower hardware. You can even get it running decently on a gaming handheld.